Hey everybody, it's Frank here for Yogomi, and I've got something new that we're going to unbox and set up today. It is the Mackie Mcaster Studio. I'm really excited about this because Mackie actually reached out to me and offered to send me this product and have me do a video for it. So full disclosure, I'm not getting paid or anything for this. I'm not being sponsored, but they did send me this product. One of the things I really enjoy doing is unboxing things and setting it up on the video so we could see what it's like, you know, in real time, as if you were just setting it up. This is actually kind of exciting for me because I've been using Mackie products for decades. I've been a DJ and a producer for a very long time, as well as a photographer and filmmaker. And so audio is very important, and audio devices are also very important with what I do, not just for fun, but in my professional life too. Just here in my studio alone, I've got multiple streaming workstations. I've got the live DJ setup. I've got the live music and production workstation over there. My main workstation here, which I do all my design and content creation, as well as all my game streams. And I even have a portable streaming setup for when I do streams in different parts of the studio, or if I'm streaming live from a remote location or a venue. Just here in the studio, I've got several Mackie pieces. There's several Mackie mixers that I have set up here in the studio to route audio from workstation to workstation. I use their big knob products to control my monitors. And one of my favorite pieces of Mackie gear that I use is from their DLM series. It's an awesome little loudspeaker that I use as a monitor when I'm out doing DJ gigs. But today we're going to unbox this, open it up, and set it up and see how I can integrate this into my studio. Now, I have mentioned that I have multiple streaming setups, but I think this would be best for my main workstation. So let's open up the box, see what's inside, and get it all set up. All right, so now we've got all the tape off. We're unboxing everything here. The first thing we see is the Mcaster Studio, your true sound unlocked, and it says flip for a quick setup guide. So this is the quick setup guide. It actually looks pretty simple. There's not a whole lot going on, which is kind of encouraging because maybe this isn't super complex to set up, and it might be even easy for people who are just beginning. So there are a few things you can do right off the bat. Right here it says you can connect your phone with the included TRRS cable or to your computer via USB, then connect your favorite headphones. It says here, plug in your favorite mic. If it's a condenser mic, be sure to press in the 48-volt button. All right, and it says discover your signature sound. So right here it says view levels, settings and presets. So I guess that's on the readout. Pick your FX preset. So apparently there's an effects preset that you can set. More stream effects. Here, more samples. Apparently there's a dial here. Trigger samples. So I believe these are buttons where you can trigger the samples. Also very cool. And more contour effects. More mic input. And here more of everything. Okay, so that's what it says here. This is the quick setup. So let's take everything else out of the box. The Mcaster Studio. This is basically the quick start guide in another form. And now we're going to take a look at the actual mixer. This is what I'm most excited about. So it looks like here, this is probably, I'm guessing, some type of cables. We've got a USB cable. The USB cable that it comes with is USB-A to USB-C. So I guess you have a couple of different connections here. I imagine this is the one that would probably go to your computer. So now we have a little power source, just your usual 12-volt power source. This is how we're going to plug everything in. So yeah. Now let's take a look at the actual mixer. Okay. Ooh. It actually feels really good. It's got a nice weight to it. All right, I'm taking it out of the plastic now. And there it is. So here we have the Mcaster Studio. So let's set this up and see how it works. Now, the first thing that I want to look at before I connect the power and the USB are the ports on the back of this. As you can see, it has a combo port that has a 1/4 inch or XLR. There's the 48-volt switch that we talked about before if you're using a condenser mic. It's got a headphone port, an instrument port here, a USB port for connecting to the computer. There's a connector for the phone and stereo outs for headset speakers, and of course the port for the power adapter. Okay, so we have the mixer completely unboxed. I powered it up, connected the USB cord, and what I really like about that is there's only 3 things that come in the box: the device, the power cord, and a USB cord. I love the simplicity of that. It just makes it easy to set up so you can get right to using it. And just FYI, my whole studio here is run on Mac. The DJ setup is Mac, the music production is Mac, the portable studio is Mac, and my main workstation is all Mac. So I was very happy to see this was Mac compatible. I do understand that a lot of gamers and content creators use PC, so have no fear, because obviously this is going to work for PC too. So it's compatible with both. Now I actually have the instruction booklet or quick start guide. So let's take a look to find out what each of these buttons are for, and that'll help determine what we can do next. What I'm most interested in is finding out how I can integrate this into my streaming setup, because everybody has a different setup and different things that they prefer for their live streams or for their content creation. Okay, so now let's go to OBS, see if OBS recognizes the device. Let's add it and see if we get the audio in OBS. All right, so here we are in OBS. We're going to go to settings, go to audio, and let's see, let's go to disable. There we go, Mcaster Studio. Picks it up right there. Let's click OK. And look at that. We've got audio. We've got audio. This is awesome. It works pretty well. Okay, so now we're gonna do a little bit of a time warp. I'm gonna connect this to my computer and set it up the way that I would use it in my studio, and then I'll come back and give you my conclusion about this device. Okay, so I've been using the Mackie Mcaster Studio Pro for several days now, and I've gotten to learn how to use it, understand how the effects work and the contouring, and how you can plug in different devices and switch to those devices depending on what you want to use when you're streaming or doing any type of broadcasting or even recording. So let's go through the menu and take a look at some of the features, starting with the contouring of the audio. Now, everything that you're going to hear moving forward is all coming directly through the Mackie Mcaster Studio. So the microphone right now is coming directly through this, and it is unaffected. I have not done any post work on it. This is what the microphone sounds like coming through clean. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go to the menu here and check out some of the features. We'll click the menu button here, and then we have a dial that lets you choose some of the different options that we have in the menu. It has a click in button on the top. So right now we're on contouring. We're going to click contour. Now right now I have it set for none. That means the microphone is coming through directly, clean, with no effects or contouring added. But if we scroll down and select some of the contour options, we can see one called Broadcaster right at the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click in on Broadcaster to see what that sounds like. Now, there is a dial here that lets me control how much of the contouring that I want on the audio. Right now, it's set all the way down to 0. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start turning this and adding more contour to see if there's a difference. Now, I'm starting to hear a little bit of difference. I'm definitely hearing something now, and I have it all the way turned up. The contouring is completely turned up, and I can hear a nice difference in the voice. As a matter of fact, it sounds pretty darn good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down and check out some of the other sounds. That one, or the one we're listening to now, is called Broadcaster. So let's go down to the next one. It's called Deepcaster, and see what that sounds like. All right, so this is Deepcaster, and this is what it sounds like with the contouring turned all the way up. Again, you can always turn this back down or add a subtle amount to it. Lets you control just how much of the contour that you want on the mic. Maybe you want a little, maybe you want a lot. But for the rest of these, I'm going to turn it up all the way so you can hear the difference between each one. All right, so let's go down to the next one called Brightcaster. And this is what the Brightcaster sounds like. It's a little bit different. Definitely takes out some of the low end. Now let's take a listen at what auto leveler sounds like. And if it's what I think it is, it's probably going to take your loud bits and your quiet bits and kind of level them so they're not too drastic. So let's click this in, and yeah, it seems to just keep kind of a level audio. There's nothing too quiet, and even as I'm trying to talk a little bit softer, it seems to keep the volume up. So I am actually raising my voice and the volume subtly, not too much, but I can tell that it's keeping the audio pretty level. Let's try one more. Let's see what this sounds like. This is called hard compress. That's what this sounds like. You can definitely hear the difference. I'm not gonna lie, I think my voice actually sounds pretty good on this. That's a pretty good sound. Now there are many more to choose from. I'm gonna go back to none so you can hear the difference. So this is the compress, the hard compress. Now I'm gonna turn it back to none, and this is what it sounds like with no effects. So you can definitely see the difference, and there are many, many more to choose from. Just know that there are many selections and options for you to choose to contour the sound that's coming from your microphone. Now, you do have the option to switch to a headset microphone if you want to by just clicking this button here. Now, I ran some tests using a headset with a microphone, but the controls are pretty much the same. It's just a matter of plugging in the headset, which I actually do have it plugged into that port, but we're not going to test that mic because there's really not much difference. And I personally think the condenser mic sounds better because that's what I use. And my goal here is to go through the settings, but put it together how I think I would use in my setup. Okay, so now that we've had some fun with the contouring, let's go back to the menu and check out the effects. Now remember, all the audio that you hear is coming directly from the mixer. I'm recording the mixer into a Zoom audio recorder, so it's completely clean with no additional effects added. I think it's very important that you hear exactly what comes through the mixer because I think it's actually quite impressive. So the dial we see here is for the effects. It works the same as the contour, where if you have it turned all the way to the left, the effects are very low, and if you have it turned all the way to the right, the effects are added quite heavily. So let's turn it all the way down and take a look at the first effect. So the first effect we have is called plate verb, and there are some really cool effects in here, by the way. So let's click on plate verb and turn that on. Now this is the plate verb with nothing on. So I'm going to dial this up, and you'll start to hear the effect kind of kick in. So I'm going to keep talking, and as I talk, you start to hear the plate verb kick in. That actually sounds pretty good. Now I'm going to go all the way up, and this is what it sounds like with the plate verb all the way up. So I'm going to turn it back down, and let's try another effect. It's actually pretty cool. The next effect we're going to do is called live room. So let's turn that on, and let's dial it up and see what it sounds like if we're in a live room. Oh, yeah, sounds like we're in a live room, I guess. That sounds pretty good, actually. Now let's try some of the fun ones. I'm going to turn this back down. Let's do laser show. Again, no effects, and we're going to turn it up. And this is what it sounds like with the effects. It's a bit of a little bit of a flanger, but it also sounds like it's kind of altering the tone of my voice as well. Now, they also have one called a flanger, so let's see what this one sounds like. Now that's definitely a flanger sound. And again, I have the effect turned all the way up, and this is with the effect all the way down, and this is with the effect all the way up. You can hear it even when I breathe. The flanger effect has really kicked in. I like it. Okay, let's try one more effect here. Actually, let's try a few. This is a very well-known one, the Munchkin effect. Now, here it is down, and as I turn it up,
you can see that my voice is still being heard because I don't have it all the way up, but you can hear the effect voice as well. So there's a little bit of a mix that you can put in there, so it sounds like two vocals at the same time. But if I turn the effect all the way to the right, all you hear is the effect of the Munchkin voice. Yeah, this is actually very, very, very common sound that I hear a lot of people use on their streams. It's fun. Of course, it's fun. Okay.
So let's try a few more, and then we'll move on to a few other things. There's one called Grandma that lets your voice sound, I guess, like a grandma. And then there's this one, which is called Mega Deep. which makes your voice sound
very deep, like this. That's another common one, I guess you could say.
Okay, so the next one we have is called Diablo, which is not that much different from Mega Deep, only that it's actually even deeper.
So it really sounds like, I guess, somebody evil? I'm sure this could come in use in some kind of stream or effects,
or even just kind of cool for just recording for other things. Pretty cool. One of my favorite ones is the BioShock. Now, my guess is this is supposed to sound like an old radio. So when you turn it up, it sounds like this, and that makes me want to talk like this, like I'm from the 50s. And it makes you also wonder that when did people stop talking like this? Thank you. Okay, so let's do one more. And this one is called Soundwave. I think this might be my favorite. It kind of takes me back to old sound effects and audio voices from, I would say, like the 70s and 80s and things like that. So if I dial this up, we're going to dial it up and you can hear it coming in. The thing about this effect is as much as I like it, I think if you put too much of the effect on, you're not going to understand the actual words that I say. For example, if I turn it all the way up, this is what it sounds like. Maybe you can understand the words that I'm saying, and maybe you can't understand the words that I'm saying. But either way, that's one of my favorite effects. So those are the special effects that you can add to the microphone. Now, some of the other options that you have on here is Bluetooth. We have Bluetooth, so you can connect different things like your phone or other Bluetooth devices. And what's also really cool about this too is it has a sampler. Now, there are some samples that are loaded into the machine automatically right out of the box. However, you can also record your own samples and make new ones, which is great for customizing sounds and things that you want in your stream that fit more of your style of streaming or content creation. You could select here to record the sound. You can select assign to assign it to one of these 4 buttons that you want to trigger that sample. These are also customizable, and I'll show you how that works in just a second. Here's a selection for clear if you want to clear the samples, and then we can go down to mode. Now here we have the screen of how we can assign the triggers and the samples to these buttons. If I select one of these buttons here, it gives me the option to choose a one-shot, a loop, or re-trigger. So you have options of how these will actually be triggered depending on how you press them or by the settings that you have saved. Now, let's get into the colors. If we go to the colors here, we can change these colors to be whatever colors we want, or at least the colors that are offered here on the Mackie MCaster Studio. So let's say for this one, I want to do, let's do yellow. And now that we've set this as yellow, if we go back in the menu, the button also changes the color on the screen here to yellow. So if we go back in and say we want to select this one, and we want to change this one to say green. Now it's green. You go back to the menu and it's also green on the readout as well. So that's pretty cool. I think I'm going to choose, let's see. Let's go yellow here for sure. Let's select another one. We have green. I'm going to do blue here. Let's go back. It's blue. Let's go here. Let's do red. Back. That one's red now. And finally, for the 4th one, let's see what other colors we have. We have magenta. We even have white. Let's just do white. That looks good. All right. Now it's white. All the colors are set. And if we go home, now all your colors are set the way you want. So on the base of the Mackie MCaster Studio is also a light. Right now it's set to off, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to select white. Now we see it, it's lit up as white. There's also red, orange, and many other colors. Yellow, light blue, green, blue, purple, or a really cool option is you could put it on RGB and it will cycle through the colors and just gradually change over time. It's actually pretty cool, and I think that's where I'm going to leave it. Now, one last thing we have in the menu is the utility. Now, what this does is let you change things like output gain or even reset factory settings back to when you took it out of the box. Now let's take a quick listen of just what some of the onboard samples sound like out of the box. If I tap the first button here, we get, I believe, the air horn. There we go. And then we have an applause. And then we have something like, I believe that's called the Wilhelm scream. And then we have a little bit of a trombone action. And you also have control on the volume of these samples. So, when you're in your mixer, you don't want them contending with your microphone or any of the audio in the game. So you have control over those volumes as well. As we look at the rest of these buttons, as I mentioned before, I do have a headphone with a microphone plugged in. So this is the selection for that. But you can also plug in an instrument, a computer, a phone, or connect via Bluetooth, which I showed you was an option right here in the menu for Bluetooth. Now, if you have an audio adapter, you can just connect it to the back, and the port is very easy to find. And you can select the phone button here, which will run the audio from the phone into the mixer and into your stream or recording device. But another way to connect your phone is Bluetooth. Now, we're going to select Bluetooth here, and now we have it selected, but we need to go to the menu and go over to Bluetooth and get it ready to pair. So we're going to enter pairing mode, and I'm going to go to my phone settings, and I'm going to click on Bluetooth, and it should show up down here in the selection, and there it is, Mcaster Studio. Now I'm going to select it and see if it connects, and it is now connected to my Mcaster Studio. Now my phone is connected, and I can run anything through here, like the audio and everything. For example, if I go to the menu here, and I'm going to select, let's just select one of my songs. How about that? As you see, this is the volume, and this works either way, whether it's connected with an audio cable or Bluetooth. So I'm going to press play and see what happens. There we go. We're getting audio. That's one of my songs playing. So it's actually really simple to just connect it via Bluetooth and have audio playing from your phone. Very, very cool indeed. So overall, I think this is a great product. Plus, it's from Mackie, which is a brand that I trust. Like I said, I use several pieces of their gear in my studio every day. So when they reached out and sent me this and asked me to do a video over it, I was ecstatic because I really think this is cool. And I'm going to be using this moving forward as my mic interface, especially with all of the effects, the mic contouring, and the customization that it comes with. I just think it's really cool. So if you get a chance, check it out. It retails for around $349. And I think it's a very, very, very cool and well-built device. So thanks so much for watching the video. I got some more videos coming up very soon. Your comments, your likes, your follows are very, very appreciated. So thank you for that. It helps me make more videos and hopefully better videos. So I will see you all soon. See ya.